Hi everybody, my name is Dr. John Degenhardt. I'm a local chiropractor in Hazleton for 44 years. I do these TV shows because I just think there's so many great results chiropractors get if it's done properly, and people are afraid of us. They don't really know what chiropractors do. So today we have Jen Rodriguez. We're going to talk about how she was in a car accident. She damaged a disc, and through proper communication with her insurance company, we saved her from getting neck surgery. So if you're in a car accident, we're going to talk about a lot of details about an attorney and the work or the car accident insurance. So Jen, first of all, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. She drives down from Wilkes-Barre. Tell everybody, who is Jen Rodriguez?
So my name is Jennifer Rodriguez. I'm 37. I have 3 kids. Married for 20 plus years. Working in retail at the moment. And that's about it, really.
Okay, so we'll come back in a few seconds. We're going to talk about what happened with her car accident, who did she see, and how she eventually got to us and how results were. So take a little break, come right back. Guys, I love these shows. I mean it. It shows you the heart and soul of what goes in these little 4 walls of ours. Last week's show, we talked about how Jennifer hurt her back at work, ruptured a disc, tried everything medically until chiropractic, gentle, specific chiropractic, healed her disc. She got better, got a financial settlement, and now her back was fine. Years later, she moved to Wilkes-Barre, was in a car accident. Now, Jen, you just said it. Tell people after the car accident, because of our past successes, when these doctors, after the car accident, wanted you to go through that medical route, orthopedics, physical therapist, steroids, something in your brain said, wait a second. I've gone through that route before. This time I'm going to see the chiropractor first. So tell everybody first what happened in the accident.
So it was a normal day, running my errands before work. And not even 2 minutes that I left my house, we were at a stoplight. Third vehicle from the light, and I'm the type of driver who gives myself enough space. And just looking away, not even 2 seconds, a car from a truck, actually, it was a pickup truck, hit me right from behind. And I felt like I was like a ping pong ball because I felt like I hit the car in front of me a couple times. And after that, it was just, he knew he did wrong. And it was just like a rush that just went into my head. It was so bad. I even asked the officer, I said, am I supposed to be having a headache the way I am? Because I've never experienced a car accident. It was my first one. And this was at 8:40 in the morning. And thankfully, I had a dash cam. So it captured the moment that I was hit. Dash cam fell off my car and everything. They checked me out at the scene. And, they said, you possibly have double whiplash. And I said, okay, fine. I've never experienced this before. I couldn't take the pain that I was going through in my head. And I went to the emergency room and they prescribed steroids. So I was doing that. Went to my regular doctor as a follow-up that you have to do with the ER. And they said, continue the steroids. And then, go see, I'm not sure if it was a neurologist or whatnot. They weren't thinking of anything else. So I'm like, you know what am I doing? I know what I need to do in an injury. And I said, I need to call Dr. John. So I called, made an appointment, came in, and the rest was history. You made me go for an MRI. Because the doctors don't really think about that first. They said, let's do all this first. And then if it doesn't work, let's do an MRI. You sent me to go get an MRI. We already knew what we were dealing with after that. It was 2 discs, but one was an extrusion. So it was just, you know, it was a really bad experience just overall having to deal with it. So,
But there's so many things we could talk about, Jen. In the middle of a disc, first of all, is a ball of jelly. On most patients, it just sort of bulges, and as you adjust the spine, the bulge comes back easily. A disc extrusion looks more like a mushroom head. So if you can envision, Jen, the ball of jelly, like if you bite into peanut butter and jelly, the jelly doesn't just come out, it looks like a mushroom head. That is very difficult. It doesn't want to go. So those usually are surgical patients. So understanding MRI, seeing thousands of patients with the same injury, I took extra classes, Jen, to learn more about writing the right reports. When you get an attorney involved in a car accident, I used to write a one-page report. Now it's 12 pages.
yeah.
The attorneys need what they call markers. How did it affect your life? Emotionally, physically, with work, with the kids. So I write these good reports, Jen. So first of all, you had an attorney.
Yeah.
But then I had to communicate with the car insurance company because this woman, Diane,
Yeah.
she would call me and she said, you know what? It's been whatever, 4 months of care. She goes, I had the same disc extrusions in my neck. This patient needs surgery. We don't think you should continue. And I said, Diane, with gentle adjustments, I said, Jen's open-minded because she wanted you to get other things done. And we both said, let's try it. So what other things did you get done besides coming to me?
So, one of the things we had to do, well, what she wanted us, well, for me to do, was go for an injection. Because of my previous accident, I was scared of the injection because it didn't help me that time. So I wanted to push it off as much as I could, because you're worried. You're like, I'm going to get this injection and nothing's going to happen. So I went to go see the doctor for that, and we did physical therapy first because, his words were like, I would hate for you to have surgery for something like this. So we did physical therapy. I think I went like twice a week for 6 to 8 weeks maybe. And it was helping, but it wasn't holding. So after everything, we went and did the injection.
Okay.
And so we went about 7 days, I think, after the injection. I came to see you. And it still wasn't like that, didn't feel like it was completely right until I got that last massage. And I felt like it just settled everything in for me.
So we have to stop for commercial break. What we're talking about, you must get multiple different professionals. Massage therapy, epidural shots, physical therapy, gentle chiropractic. I did not crack her neck. So any chiropractor who cracks your neck with a disc extrusion is going to make you worse. So take a break, come back in 2 seconds. So if you've been watching this show, Jen was hit from behind by a truck. Terrible whiplash injury, a disc extrusion, which usually requires neck surgery. But because she had success at this office years ago from a disc problem in her lower back from a work-related injury, she decided to come here. MRI showed disc damage. After 4 or 5 months of our care, she was not getting as good as we both wanted her to be. And I remember saying, Lord, I don't know if I could help her from not getting surgery. So I called the insurance company because they wanted me to close your claim. And I'm a fighter. I said, no, I can't close your claim. She's not back to pre-existing status yet before. So the woman, Diane, said, okay, how about we try physical therapy? Jen was willing to.
Yeah.
How about we try a shot? Though these epidural steroid shots did not help you in your low back, you were open-minded. So she went to physical therapy, chiropractic, an epidural shot. Finally, after we did some laser and some massage, I love that day when you finally said, John, that pressure, that tension. It was like, thank you, Lord, that finally that whole scope of care finally started to pay off. So how did you start feeling as that process went?
So I took it from the moment that I had the injection, and I said, if I feel what I felt the last time, because I felt like a burning sensation on my lower back, It said if I feel it then, it's not gonna work. And thankfully, I didn't feel that burning sensation. Good. I said, I even left like, oh wow, this is new. Like, I was excited, that I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Because I haven't been to work I didn't go back to work for 11 months. I was out. I couldn't drive myself. I couldn't turn my neck. Um, Heavy lifting. I couldn't do anything. So after the injection and we finally saw some results, I said, we can go back to work. I even asked you if I can go back earlier.
Yep, I remember.
Than what you wanted, because I was like, I feel like I can go. Like, let me go.
So remember, folks, behind the scenes, what's important? Her car insurance felt she was not getting any better, so they wanted me to close the claim. First of all, a compassionate doctor doesn't just give up. I said no, but we're open-minded enough to try all this other stuff. The claims adjuster, this Diane, says to us, remember, she had multiple disc problems. She had neck fusions. She's doing terrible, but that's where you were headed. And I said, Diane, I don't know your case because, first of all, let's talk about that. People will say to me, my sister has the exact same problem. No two patients are alike, Jen. Every disc bulge, disc extrusion, disc herniation is unique. Yeah, when I look at MRIs, they're never two of the same. So don't think your back is exactly like your neighbor's. Yeah. Nobody is the same. So in your story, this woman kept saying, stop spending this money, go for surgery, which would be like $80,000. Yeah. So finally, you were open-minded, and I couldn't wait to see you. How did the massage go? How did the laser go? So that combination, so we got you back to work. And I called Diane. Diane, she's back to work sooner than expected. She couldn't believe it. She thought for sure, she said, we had money already set aside for neck surgery for this woman. Thank you for saving us $90,000. And for me, it was never the money. But my point is, I got paid because I communicated with her. All your bills are paid. Yep. And we have an attorney involved because you will never, in my opinion, once you damage a disc, Jen, it will always be a weak spot. Yeah. I watched football just the other night. The Miami Dolphins quarterback, the neurologist said this is his third concussion in 3 years. That it takes less damage to cause more injury. Every time you damage these discs, you might next year have another work-related injury. Less damage to cause more. So same thing. So I have to write this 12-page report now for your attorney to say, thank the Lord, she is back to work. I hate when patients and attorneys say to me, keep her off work. We'll get a better settlement. They say, you got the wrong doctor. Yeah. I am going to get these patients back to work because you'll make more money working for the next 30 years. The attorney sometimes just wants to get a better settlement because he gets his 35-40%. In this case, let him get his percentage, but you're going to have a productive life now, Jen, for 20, 30 years. So the next part of the show, to me, is the most exciting. We're going to show you what we did, how we did a neck gentle adjustment. Again, you cannot crack a neck. So those patients, and Jen, the medical doctors who refer to me, now the orthopedic doctors from OAA that refer to me, the attorneys who refer to me, they understand that there's different types of chiropractors. Many of you watching the show think that we're all the same. You see me in public and you say, I'm afraid of chiropractors because the last guy cracked me. When you tell me you do not want your neck cracked, I don't do it. When I see that MRIs is so bad, we don't do it. So let's let you see what the gentle adjustment's like. And talk about for a minute, Jen, you also had what? Was it cold laser to your neck?
Yes. When I came back here, you actually just got the cold laser machine, and we started cold laser versus hot laser with the massages and the gentle adjustments as well. And the combination worked for me, It slowly got me to be able to turn my neck a little more, and every little thing was a help. And the injection was probably the final touch that I needed, but everything led to me being able to look at you sideways now because I couldn't even turn sideways.
So in conclusion, if you're watching this show and you have disc damage and you're considering surgery, every disc is different, but Jen, there are so many things out there. Physical therapy, gentle chiropractic, laser, injections, it's a multitude of things that might help you to prevent surgery. So if you're seeing a surgeon who says, just see me, just let's get surgery, get a more open-minded panel of doctors that could help you. My opinion is the less surgeries this body has, Jen, the better I'll be when I'm 80, 90 years old. So we have to close now for the final session here. Come down the hall. Let's show you how we do both the spinal neck adjustment without cracking the neck, and also we'll get that co-laser so people can see what the laser is like. So come down the hall. There are many important facts to think about this case. First of all, Jen was hit from behind by a truck. So I write a report to the attorney. The mass of a truck. I put down the year and make and model of her car because he looks up the mass of her vehicle. We look up the mass, the weight of that truck, because the force, how much of a compression is there to her spine. So on an MRI, her C3-4 discs, an extrusion. The disc material comes out, presses on her nerves. She couldn't move her neck. She felt such pressure. I had to take her off of work. One of the keys to this case is communication. Many chiropractors I know, you know what they say to me? They never talk to the car insurance company. You have to. You have to. When I talked to this girl, Diane, who wanted to close the claim, I said, Diane, listen, I think she felt in my heart, this is a guy who's willing to get other professionals involved. She had the same neck that Jen did. So she understood what an extrusion was. But this woman had multiple neck fusions and is worse after her neck fusions. So that motivated me to say, I can't let my buddy Jen get the same surgery this claims adjuster did. I would call Diane probably, twice a month, letting her know how she's coming along. We've hit a plateau. Okay, Jen, we're going to go for a steroid shot, an epidural shot, we call it. Then we might go for different physical therapy. Her physical therapist definitely helped us. She was doing stretching massages, which finally helped my laser. So we're going to show you now what the adjustment was like. But my key is, if any chiropractor doctors watching this show, me communicating with Diane of her car insurance allowed Diane to say, keep going, as long as I know you guys are trying. You know, when you don't communicate, she's probably thinking, they're not getting any better. This is a doctor who just wants to send in the bills and get paid and doesn't care about the outcome. When Diane saw that I do care about the outcome, that we need it, and if you have problems, you might need multiple people, but I guess I'm biased, you need a gentle chiropractor as part of your team. If Jen did everything she did, epidural shots, massage, physical therapy, I do not think she'd be as good as she is. And she would not be as good as she is with me without that stuff either. I'm being honest with you. She needed all of that gamut to get better. So she's on a high-low table. Remember, if you didn't watch last week's show, this table, so she just takes a little nap, this table takes her down. We adjusted her lower back, and I thank the Lord she was unlevel on her last show, so on the neck now. Again, if you have a neck disc problem and you're going to a chiropractor who's cracking your neck, I'm telling you, he's going to make it worse, or she. You must go to a chiropractor that has multiple techniques. You know, and I'm praying that now doctors and attorneys, orthopedics, even you patients, not every chiropractor is the same. So I have a technique that if she's good, we can twist her neck. But if she has bad discs, C7 is at the base of the neck, what they call the vertebral prominent bone. So you can count C6, C5, C4. So we would get on the side by looking at the MRIs, looking at the x-rays, you visualize in your mind how the truck jolted her neck. My job is to structurally, her body won't heal if it's not in proper structural alignment. And that's where a lot of physical therapists very rarely refer to me. Orthopedic doctors are starting to, because that's part of the pie. So I come to this side. As I push, the TED piece comes up 1/4 inch. I place the fingertip on the lamina junction on the side of the bone, and there's just a gentle tap. No cracking. That is too rough, too aggressive for a disc extrusion. So we used to find the tight spot. We'd put up the table. You heard that, but it's like a 1/4 inch. And I use my finger and I'm going to just tap it down. Upon it dropping, it moves the vertebrae a millimeter. But you must, as a chiropractor, know your limits, knowing that the discs are so damaged that the old-fashioned crack would be too much for her. So we would always make sure her pelvis was level. We would tap her neck. Then we used the cold laser. Lasers are used throughout the world, not that much in America. In America, to be honest, Big Pharma is in control of this country. Big Pharma makes billions and trillions of dollars by doing steroid shots and all this other stuff. And I'm not against that. That was part of the pie. But for her alignment, just to show you, we're going to put in a code for disc herniations, disc extrusions. So what this cold laser does, that we've done other shows on it, I can't get it in too much, but you look to see where there is for you just like you change different radio stations. There it is, disc extrusion. Oops, I missed it. So when I turn it on, if you can see it on TV, there's a bright light, no pain, but a frequency of light, a specific frequency. There's 1200 in this machine that the company has put in. I put it on her neck. So right now she feels nothing, but light therapy is going into her disc, allowing the disc material, which is a fibrocartilage, which is almost like the gristle of a pork chop. Proper alignment, steroid shots, massage, physical therapy, cold laser, that combination changed her life. She could have been like Diane, the claim rep for her car insurance, who had multiple neck fusions, who has terrible headaches and numbness in her arms as a claim rep. Diane was so happily excited that we prevented her from going the same route. It is a beautiful feeling to change her life. Her kids love her. Her husband needs her. She could have been laid up on disability. So thank you so much for watching today's show.